Hi YouTube, it's Angel from AngelSkyeTV. Just want to make sure, yep. And I have with me Abdy Electriciteh, and I'm so excited. I wanted to have an interview with you because I experienced I think it was in June or May, your workshop here in Halifax, and I was just like so fascinated by your work. I don't even know what happened. Like what I experienced, I just remember I saw you moving, and then I just felt like heaven fall to the floor, and I felt like so much light, and and then later in the day, you went through the crowd and like you touched everybody, and everybody just kind of went to sleep. So what was that? I need you to explain. Is that like some kind of superpower? Like how would you categorize that, or do
Uh,
you even categorize it?
well, I don't categorize it.
Okay.
Um, Everything is a superpower for average people. If you don't know something, it's super, you know.
Mm-hmm.
If you know it, nothing is super.
Right.
Everything is expected and nothing is special.
Right.
So, I mean, it's very difficult to explain that or
Mm-hmm.
what I do. But basically, I allow an energy flows through my body
Mm-hmm.
uh, and fills the room with, and people get connected to my consciousness and their own consciousness. Um, and when that happens, the mind is not so powerful to play its game. And sometimes it can still, but
Mm-hmm.
most of the times it doesn't. So then you're in bliss.
Ananda, which is Sanskrit for bliss. How did you know you could do this? Like, did one day you just touch somebody and they fell over and fell asleep? Like, how did that? What was your first experience doing this work? Like, how did that come about?
Well, doing this work, many years ago, I wasn't in a good space, and somebody told me to meet a lady, and she was working with Holy Spirit, and she did similar work as I did to me.
Mm-hmm.
And some years after that, then I felt that I can do things, and then I touch people, and things happen to them.
Mm-hmm.
And then they came to me and they said that since the day I touched them, they
Yeah.
had a problem on their knee. They don't have it. They have other
Oh.
problem. They didn't have it. So I
Mm-hmm.
realized there's something with the touch, and
Mm-hmm.
gradually I uh, kind of tap into my inner self and observing what's going outside and just started doing what I do.
Okay. And so, how long have you been doing what you do?
Since 2002.
2002. Um, and right now you're doing a world tour. Is that right?
Well, not quite. I don't. Yes, I'm going places. I used to do a lot of work tour before.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, right now, yes, I'm more active in North America, but I spend time. I go to Europe or Australia and other places.
You mentioned you had a place in Costa Rica.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Well, it's a beautiful uh, nature on
Mm-hmm.
an active volcano, and I spent 5 years living there.
On an active volcano.
Yeah, and
Okay. Is that why you have the Spanish accent? I just have to ask because I thought you were Hispanic, but where are you originally from?
I'm Iranian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you do have a little bit of a Spanish accent.
Well, I don't
Do you
know.
speak Spanish?
A little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not enough to have an accent, but yeah. Are you Spanish?
I'm Puerto Rican.
Oh, Puerto Rico. Yeah. So that the place is, I spent 5 years connected to nature,
Mm-hmm.
and I brought many people there to be connected, and I feel that uh, the main the major pollution that we have is the electromagnetic vibration and electricity.
Oh, okay.
So when you are in nature, that pollution is not so much interfering with your connection to the divine.
Mhm. And do you think that when people are carrying around their phones and on their phones all the time, that prevents them or blocks them from connecting to?
I don't know. I think uh, not necessarily. I mean, there's so many people anti-device. Of course, it enhances that. Yes, enhances the disconnection. But it just being in a city, just being in the energy of, uh, you have a fridge in the home does the same thing.
Okay, right. Um, One of the things you had said during the workshop really stood out to me. You had mentioned you were with a group of people that did superpowers or had some superpowers. I'm sorry to be hung up on the superpower thing. I'm just writing a paper about superpowers in humans.
I don't remember what I said or which group because I've been with different groups doing
You
different things.
mentioned they levitated
But,
and they could move things or something.
But what do you want me to say?
No, I'm just curious.
About
like,
superpower, you see,
yeah.
I tell you, what's superpower? You see, the way you relate to something is a dimension. For example, you relate to my shirt, it's cotton is one dimension.
Mhm.
It's navy blue is another dimension. There are thousands of ways we relate to things. We relate to everything generally externally. So, for example, you relate to me and you relate to my location because it's external to you, and that's the X, Y, Z coordination, the three dimension that we easily relate to. At the universal level, there are 12 dimensions actually. The three that we relate to, and the 9 other that we don't relate to, we call it time. There's no such thing as time. It's just time is the only way we can understand changes. It's just, I'm here now and I'm here, I'm there. It's just some time. If a person understand other dimension, can work with it. Not necessarily understand, they can work with it. They can go through dimension, let's say if we call it 4 or 5 or 6 or whatever. They do something and there's no time passed. And to other people it's a miracle or superpower.
Okay.
Well, having access to those dimensions in a way is a superpower.
Right.
But it's not really superpower. It's just being in a consciousness and taking advantage of what other people are ignorant to.
Okay. So what you're saying is it's accessible to everyone.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Just some people aren't aware.
Well, it's not just a mental awareness. You see, everybody can be a marathon runner, but doesn't mean that everybody
Right.
can. So
Yes.
there are limitations that create that awareness. See,
Okay.
not everybody could be aware of that. It's not just awareness, it's just understanding and connecting. It's energetic. You see, everything is energetic. Everything is just vibration. So you are vibration, I am vibration, and your vibration make everybody who watching us pictures you as you are, and mine does pictures me as I am. But the reality has nothing to do with how you look or how I am. Whatever you share and you confirm, we call it real, and has nothing to do with what it is. For example, the human reality is a certain way, so the human reality sees you and I the way it does. If you have a dog, reality is different. If you have a cat, reality is different. Yes. So what we relate to is based on a reality that we are conditioned, and that is real to us. But we all living an illusion that we call a reality. There are different. There's normal people. Then there is people abnormal. They have different illusion, not that they're real, and that creates different reality. So I don't know what was the question I'm ending up where I'm ending up, But
No, I like where the discussion is going.
uh, it just, if it is within the reality of a person to be aware, then it's easier. If
Right.
it's not, it's not. But oh, I was talking about energetic part.
Mhm.
So basically, the energy is the truth, the absolute truth, and the physical or the way we perceive things is our own reality. It has nothing to do with what it is. So if somebody energetically at a level that they can connect and understand different dimension,
Mhm.
they do relate to it. If some people are not, they don't. But as a child, when a baby is born, they all can relate to. Not all of them, but many higher dimension that we adult can. But the parents of the child condition the child not to use their intuition and use what they know.
Why do you
So
think that is?
because it's just how we know. It's just how you know. How we, because the parents of the parents have done the same thing. It's just how it's
Just
gone.
what we're taught.
You know, that's our human conditioning, and that's how we create that reality. So when that power in a child become like a limb that is in cast for 20, 30, 40 years, and it doesn't know that it can move, but one day something happened and they realize they have the hand moves. It's not something just hanging there.
What's interesting about what you do is, even though some people might not be aware of that reality, you bring it to them in the sense where these people are falling over, you just touch them.
Yeah, because
How
one
does
thing is
that
not up
help?
to them. You see, the thing is, knowledge is something you acquire. It's up you learn.
Yeah.
Awareness is something you. But the 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 energetic and the truth, you cannot choose to have it or not.
Okay.
It's beyond your control.
Okay.
So if when you are connected to the truth, then the truth connects to you all the time. So it's not really up to you. You cannot choose to
Right.
be aware or awaken. It's just the universe plays through you with your energy, and energies are introduced to you for you to grow in that. And it doesn't take people's will. I mean, nothing. You have no will in anything, anyways. But
Some people would argue that, but
everybody,
everybody
actually,
needs
most
the
people
free
argue that.
will. It's like everything's about free will. We all have free will, but I've started to believe that that's kind of not true. I don't know. I mean, there is that sense of free will, but at the same time, things are just happening.
Well,
I don't know. Like, it's hard for me to see. Like, it feels like it's both.
yes and no. See, our free will is played with at a higher level. So, you see, you have certain possibility of action within your nature, and even those possible of actions is triggered by external situation.
Yes.
So something happens, you have an emotion, you act. So are you in charge of those external situations? No. So in a way, you don't have a free will. It's just, if you do something to a dog, it barks. But it's just the nature of a dog that barks at that situation.
Right.
And it's our nature that is played with, thinking that we have free will and choose what we think we're choosing when it was all set up for us.
Right. And then people always talk about you create your reality. So are we creating those situations that we're barking at or whatever so that we learn the lessons we decided to come in and learn?
And you see, on the level of when I mentioned dimensions, as higher dimension you relate to, you have a better picture of what is the absolute reality. So at 12 dimension, you connect. There is no polarity. There is no duality. 11 there is. Then as lower dimension you relate to, there's more of the illusion. So um, creating your own whatever you manifest anything, is in our reality is true. And but are we in charge of it? No.
Interesting. I have another question for you. It's kind of just because I know a lot of people that are really strong, like meditate for 1 hour a day, do their yoga for 1 hour, don't eat any meat, like very like yogis.
Mm-hmm.
What is your take on that? Because I remember you had mentioned, I don't know if you were joking or you were like just really being open, like you said, like I don't meditate, I don't pray, I don't do anything like that. How do you connect? I'm just curious.
Well, the question is how do I disconnect when everybody all the time is connected?
That's a really good answer.
Nothing is not connected. People try so hard to recognize that connection. You see, that's all they do.
Yeah.
So anything you do, you want to recognize the connection, but I don't need to recognize.
You just know it's there.
Yeah.
That's a really good answer, actually. So do you meditate?
No.
You don't meditate. Do you practice yoga?
No. My wife likes me too, but I don't.
But you don't. And like, do you have a guru or any like teacher, mentor, anybody like that?
No, never. I don't think. You see, my whole being, when I realized certain things, and I realized the major gift I have is not what I do to people. It's just that I have not been conditioned with any system and modality. So I can be clear of everything without trying subconsciously follow certain system that in my belief system is more correct than others.
Gotcha.
So no, every cell of your body knows everything, and whatever you need to know, the body does for you. So you tap into that knowledge if you need, but I don't need that either. That is not just a belief system. That is a way of life for me. Because a belief system is something you know and just up there. It doesn't mean you can live it.
Right. That's true. That's very true. So you have a workshop coming up in a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Are you nervous? Do you get nervous, or
not really?
Do you know what you like? You strike me as someone that kind of just goes with the flow. Like,
that's right. Yeah.
Do you have like a plan for the afternoon?
No, I just have 2 hours here, and then I go back to the airport, fly to Ottawa, and then I have another one tomorrow in Ottawa, and I go home. No. You see, when you understand how the free will doesn't work, you don't get hung up in details of life or workshop or anything.
You just kind of go along.
Yeah, I can't do it wrong, so why would I put attention to make it right when it not go wrong?
Nice. That's a very helpful philosophy for people that suffer from anxiety because they're worried so much about the future and like what they need to do next and how they need to do it.
Yeah, well, you see, we have been conditioned by governing bodies of humanity and religions or whatever, right and wrong. So the governing body is going to teach you what is right. And then there has been so much focus on wrong thing that you should avoid, that anxiety has been in our DNA. And when you realize there's nothing you can do wrong, everything in God's domain, then you don't need to have conscious of trying to make it right. And then you don't need anybody to tell you what's right.
People will always tell you what's right, though.
Yeah, well, that's because of their conditioning. But I mean, people can say whatever, but if you need to hear it, it's a different story.
That's true. There's one other thing I wanted to ask you. So do you think everybody has like a special gift like you have? Do you believe that?
Yes and no. See, it's very difficult. I mean, first of all, nobody's the same. Everybody is different.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not wearing. I mean, this clothes I'm wearing today. Probably if you go to the whole Canada or North America, nobody gonna have exact clothes. Right. So if the choice that is so simple is of clothing is so different on people. So, same fashion, everything we are is different. However, we have similarities, and in some similarities, we are. Some groups are closer, some people are farther. On your body, not everything looks the same. Something is a toe, something is a finger, something is an eye. So that's how we share. So there are many people who have similar gifts, but everybody's gift is specific to them, and nobody is the same.
Right.
And energetically, nobody is the same. Absolutely not two people are energetically the same. So everybody is in different part of their soul or energetic cycle, and based on where they have been before and where they are, they are connecting to different energy, and they can flow to different level of understanding.
Do you think when you hang around people, people can rub off on you energetically?
Well, you can energetically, you cannot rub off anything, because energy is just vibration, and vibration affects another system by just proximity. And that's how you go to the jungle or a forest. The energy of the forest drops on you, or the water.
Right.
So everything is like everybody's a tuning fork. If you play that proper tune, it just vibrates.
Vibrates. All the bees will vibrate.
That's right.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time. I don't want to take too much of your time up because I know you have to get ready. But I really appreciate. Is there anything I didn't ask that maybe you want to say? Or?
Many things you didn't ask, but there's no time for it.
Okay.
No.
Well, thank you very much. I really
You're
appreciate
welcome.
it. And I'm going to enjoy the workshop now.
Okay.